We do know that Minister of Sport and Recreation Zizi Kodwa has been hosting Banyana Banyana players and Spar Proteas after their World Cup exploits, their respective World Cups, one in Australia and New Zealand, as well as the one that we hosted here in the country for the first time on African soil in Cape Town. And at that breakfast in Sandton is our reporter Vuyo Macoba, who's been listening in. He's joining us at the moment. Vuyo, your take home from what the minister and several of the other speakers had to say this morning?
Good morning, Benjamin, and good morning to the Newzroom Afrika viewers. We are in Sandton, of course, for that ministerial breakfast, which is hosted by the Department of Sports, led by Minister Zizi Kodwa. And of course, as you are mentioning in your introduction, that it's a celebration following the exploits that were done by Banyana Banyana and, of course, the netball Proteas in their respective World Cups. We saw Banyana Banyana reaching the last 16 at the World Cup in New Zealand and Australia, which was a historic feat for the team. And this side in Cape Town, at the first World Cup to be hosted on African soil in netball, we saw the Spar Proteas putting out a strong fight, especially in the match against New Zealand in the second stage of the competition. So those celebrations are continuing. This morning we had the likes of Mafu, the Deputy Minister of Sport, speaking on the podium, the Minister himself, Zizi Kodwa, and some of the things that they touched on. Well, of course, looking forward beyond this, what in terms of the sport of women in the country, what needs to be done. There's also corporate South Africa who are in this breakfast as well, who are sitting by. And Minister Zizi Kodwa has been appealing to them as well to put their full support in women's sport in the country. And the question is that what more do they need to do to get that full support? For netball, what do they need to do to make sure that the sport is professionalized? Similar with football as well. What do they need to do to make sure that the sport is professionalized? So that's looking forward beyond the World Cups, to say what kind of legacies are we building for both these sports, and beyond that, of course, just most importantly, women's sport in the country as well. Now I want to bring in somebody who traveled with Banyana Banyana to the World Cup to give us a sense of from his side and how he's looked at the celebrations that have continued beyond this, and of course the legacies that need to be built beyond the World Cups for the netball Proteas and Banyana Banyana. Matlomula Morake, a journalist at Center Circle Online. Matlomula, appreciate your time on Newzroom Afrika. You traveled with Banyana Banyana to the World Cup in Australia, a historic feat for the team. But beyond that, we come back into the country and we're seeing these celebrations. A lot of talk has come into this breakfast now in terms of what we need to do beyond this. What was your take from today?
Yeah, good morning to the viewers. I must say that, what's happening in here is all well and good. But as you say, let's hope it's not just talk. Because Banyana Banyana needs a professional league. Netball needs a professional league. I mean, if we perform the way we did in our respective World Cups, it clearly shows that if we had professionalized the game, we could be talking a different story right now. I mean, look at the teams that are in the World Cup in Australia and New Zealand. Coach Desiree was saying the other day that this World Cup was for everyone to win, and you could see with the way things went. So I just want to believe that what is happening in here, all well and good, but it's the World Cup is behind us now. We need now to start ensuring that this professionalization of the game really continues.
There also needs to be timelines that they need to put in place. As you are saying, it just doesn't need to be talk from the people inside there, but there needs to be also be timelines that are put in place so that we can follow up on them to say what you had said in terms of supporting a certain sport, is it done by this time?
A very, very, very good point. In fact, what we had here was that there was no timeline, but I had an opportunity to speak to the new head of women's football at SAFA, Romani Pinnock, and she said to me that her immediate task is to actually ensure that there is a professional league in women's football in South Africa. And her view or her intention is that by the start of next season, 2024 league season of the Hollywood Bets, everyone is in a professional setup. And should that happen, I think this country is going to go a long way in ensuring that the performance that we've seen, the Tembis, the Bambananis, the Nokos, will have even better of that. So I want to believe that if she has her way, we will by the beginning of next season have that professional league in women's football. But it has to also include Corporate South Africa, because it's all about funds. If the funds are there, I want to believe that it can start almost immediately. But Corporate South Africa has to come on board, and we hear that they inside there, they're listening, and some are also out there, obviously waiting to hear if they want to come in or not. But I mean, the girls have shown that there is no need to actually pull your leg, or rather drag your feet in ensuring that you come and assist here. The girls have done everything. They've proven that as a team, they can do so much better with more funding, with more support.
Matlongolo, appreciate your time on Newzroom Africa and all the best.
Thank you so much.
Journalist at centercircle.online, Matlamola Maraka, just give us a sense from his side and what he has picked up from the breakfast which is hosted here in Johannesburg by the Minister of Sport, Zizi Kodwa, of course celebrating the triumphs or the exploits from Banyana Banyana, of course the netball Proteas. As bigger than anything else, the biggest takeout is how do we move forward with these teams in terms of support, professionalizing both the sports, both football and netball and every other women's sport in the country. There needs to be timelines, not just hearsay from the corporate South Africa, but there needs to be timelines that need to be put in place. Netball have hosted a good World Cup, and the bid continues for the football to then host a 2027 Women's World Cup here in the country. And with the support that we're seeing for the women's sport in the country, it seems like we are moving swiftly along, and we are getting closer to, of course, in that bid for the 27 Women's World Cup. It's back to you, Benjamin.
Well, Macoba, we'll catch up with you later on. He's in Sandton at Minister Zizi Kodwa's breakfast for the two national teams. Now,